Hey, what's up everyone, Morey Croson here, and today we're going to be breaking down the top 11-year-old quarterback, Hayes McGinnis, and we're going to start the video right now.
This is the newest edition of the Performance Lab.
Reach your individual goals. You don't want to just talk about straight line speed. We also want to talk about your ability to be quick. We break down your video. Let's make you into the quarterback I know you can become.
All right, so the reason I wanted to do this is just because I've been doing more breakdowns of younger athletes as they're continuing to come into the program, look to improve their mechanics at a younger age, and I think that's definitely a great idea if you're looking to be a quarterback in the future. The earlier you can start and make it so you don't get the bad mechanics or bad habits that then you have to correct, I think it'll definitely help you out. The thing that I wanted to do here, though, is I just felt like, looking at Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, all these guys when, you're 11, comparing yourself to basically 25, 30-year-old, doesn't end up being the most helpful. So I thought I would go ahead and break down this 11-year-old here. This is supposed to be Tom Brady 2.0. I think it's kind of hard to be able to, really guarantee that. But I do think that seeing some of the fundamentals that we talk about in our breakdowns ends up being beneficial, so then what you can do, no matter 10, 11, all these principles will still apply. So first thing we're going to go and look at, like always, we're going to look at when the front hand leaves the ball. So we'll go at 85.33 is the timestamp there at the bottom, and the ball comes out of his hand at 857. So he's at a .37, okay, so that's really good overall. Again, a lot of guys that are in their, 10, 11, 12 will be closer to .7 on this, guys. So, getting down to .37 already at an early age, I think it's super important. Another thing that, really stands out to me here is his load. He doesn't always have a load that's this, kind of clean, but consistently he is able to get to this position, right? So essentially the reason why I say this is because I see so many guys who keep this ball so close to their head, and really when they're loading are going more kind of straight back with the ball, okay? And so this ends up making it so now you never create any type of stretch within that pec. And if you don't do that, then when you end up throwing the football, you're just not going to be able to put the same amount of force and torque behind the throw. So by going here and getting that stretch, this is what is allowing him to put and have a lot of arm strength regardless of his age, right? This is something that we see at again, 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds, 30-year-olds. So, a lot of this ended up kind of confirming that, look, some of this ends up being built at an early age. This isn't something that's just going to randomly happen to some people and not happen to others. Quarterback University is where committed quarterbacks come to take their game to the next level. Improve your throwing power, velocity, accuracy, and get the ball out of your hands faster. Not only are there videos to improve your mechanics, but there's also workout tutorials and also drills to help you improve as well. We want to help you get noticed, which is why we also included a recruiting services section. We'll have quizzes that you'll be able to take to be able to make sure that you actually get the information and are able to repeat it back. In case you have any shoulder, back, wrist, or elbow soreness, there is a section to address that as well. Click the link here in order to get started. Thanks for watching. You have to be able to, some people might be able to be naturally gifted with having that external rotation, but it's still something that ends up being an important part, an integral part of being able to throw the ball far, regardless of the age, right? So great external rotation there, and then additionally, great wrist position as the ball's coming out of his hand. So again, a lot of the fundamentals that we talk about during the throw, even when throwing on the run, right? So this is a great example of, getting that right foot down, getting the toe facing straight ahead. Again, I don't know how much of this is taught or how much of this is just, pure kind of fundamentals and things that he just, was able to naturally understand, but he's getting the toe facing towards the target, gets the wrist in a good strong position, right? See how the wrist is at a neutral position? It's not turned out, so like the hand isn't like that, it's upright, okay? That's what I'm talking about when we say neutral wrist, and then finishing through the throw from there, okay? Another good example of a good throw. I'm gonna keep on going back. He has a few different throws here. Again, this one's coming from behind. This kind of shows more of how he's generating force, right? So from this back position, you can see where he's stepping. He is kind of stepping over the side. He does end up getting a lot of his momentum off to the side. That would be one of the things that I'd say you'd want to correct. But he's low. He's loading his hip in this position, right? Look at that hip angle. I think that's great. And then as he's pushing off, he's coming up and through and creating rotation. Okay, that's super important, guys. You've got to be coming, somewhat up. That helps you in getting more extension out of the hips and out of the glutes. So you don't want to be sinking down as you're throwing the ball. You want to be, if anything, coming upward. So he's loading that hip really well and then coming up, especially when you're trying to throw on time, throwing like a 3-step drop, 5-step drop. You want to be a little bit lower because then that's where your knees are going to be bent. And then as you're coming through, you're pushing up and finishing the throw from that position. So again, a lot of great fundamentals of biomechanics that are helping him be successful at a young age. Okay, so this is an example of him keeping the ball a little bit closer to his head, right? But he still ends up getting to that external rotated position. All right, so this ends up being what's important here, creating this stretch. Okay, so you want to work on this. Slow down your throw. Make it so this is something that you end up actually feeling, right? Because what ends up happening, in my opinion, what a lot of you guys are doing, a lot of mistakes you guys are doing, is we're not practicing with a focused, determination of what the outcome needs to be. If you're just going and you're throwing in the park, you're throwing to your friends, whatever, brothers, sisters, then and you're not putting a focused effort on being able to correct the certain part of your mechanics, then in all actuality, you're making yourself worse. Okay, you want to be able to be very, very focused on, okay, this is what I'm trying to do within this throw. This is what I'm trying to work on within this throw. So now you could actually make the improvements needed to be able to actually get yourself to the next level. If you make the mistake over and over again, you're going to keep on building in those same habits of throwing the ball incorrectly. So when you go and you're throwing, you want to slow it down sometimes. You don't always have to have a receiver to throw to. I throw to the net all the time, right? Because I want to really work on maybe how I'm pushing off my back leg, how I'm absorbing my weight through the front leg, right? Just doing 3 5-step drops. So many guys I see are uncomfortable doing a 3-step drop, uncomfortable doing a 5-step drop, and it's like, you don't really want to be a quarterback, man. Like, if you really want to be a quarterback, you should feel so comfortable doing a 3-step drop to the right and to the left. You shouldn't be off balance. You should be able to shift all your weight from your back leg to your front leg. There's so many videos. I've made a bunch of videos. There's a ton of videos online. Like, you guys shouldn't be making that mistake, right? Same type of thing with, even using your lower body in general. I've made so many videos about using your lower body. You guys shouldn't be making that mistake. The reason you're making that mistake is not because you're not putting in enough time, not because you're not putting in enough practice, not because you need more coaching or this or that or the other. It's because when you go and you practice, are not actually focused and engaged in what it is that you're doing. It's not 10,000 hours that's going to make you great. It's being able to take those 10,000 hours and be very focused in, your practice. Okay, there's a book about that where it's not about just practicing for practice sake. It's about having focused, disciplined practice that's really going to be the separator and make it so you can be a professional in whatever it is that you want to do. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave those down below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the description down below. We got the throw program. I really recommend you guys, if you're 11 or you have a kid that's 11 years old and looking to get better, I really recommend you guys doing the throw program, just because we will give you the right guidelines to be able to understand what are the correct mechanics and how to be able to get there, what are the drills, what are the exercises, and really create a throwing specific program for you to be able to work on that. And right now, if you could end up being a 11, 12-year-old that's throwing the ball 40, 45 yards, that's going to really separate you when it comes to getting into the high school ranks and really getting yourself noticed at an earlier age, which I know a lot of you guys are trying to do. So definitely check that out in the description down below. If you have any questions, let me know. And thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.